Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire, and I want to talk about OCD is designed to drive you crazy. So, for those of you who know what OCD is, um, I just want to say that it's designed to drive you crazy. And OCD is basically like, cause like they be saying like, okay, if you wanna treat OCD and this and that, you gotta go to the therapist, you gotta take medications and all this nonsense of this world, bro. But when you're dealing with OCD, you are dealing with evil spirits and you are dealing with demons, you know what I'm saying? So the only way to be free from it really is to go to Jesus and to go to God, you know what I'm saying? And to fast and to pray against it. That's how you'll be free. Because think of something like this, like how is medication going to heal you from something that's spiritual? Like how is pills and medication will heal you from something spiritual? That don't even make sense. Like this is why the systems of this world don't even making sense, because they don't even believe in the spirit realm. They don't believe in angels and demons and stuff like that. But when you are dealing with OCD, you have to go to God. You got to do it fast, so God can set you free from that. You know what I'm saying? You ever be in a situation where you're overly checking for stuff? Be like, oh, did I do this? Then you hear a voice that's telling you, nah, bro, you ain't do that. You got to go do it again. What? I'm pretty sure you noticed that's not even your voice saying that. You know, that's not your voice telling you that half of the times. Half of the times it's demons that's talking to you and telling you in your mind that you ain't do something. Now you got to do it again. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to do it again. And this is the crazy part. It's like your voice, yourself, it's like you be combating with that voice. You be combating with that voice of OCD. You be combating with it. You be like, I'm sure I did that. And then another voice is like, nah, bro, you ain't did that. So you tell me, if you are combating with that voice, how is that voice that you are combating with, how is that your voice? It's not. But when you are dealing with the systems of this world and the therapists and the medication, they gonna be like, oh, it's just you overthinking this and that. They don't believe in the spirit realm. They don't believe in evil spirits. They don't believe in demons. They don't believe in none of that stuff. But these be demons and evil spirits in your mind just lying to you. They just basically feeding your mind lies. They be like, oh, nah, you ain't do that. You gotta go check again. Nah, bro, you ain't do that. You gotta go check again. And sometimes we be entertaining it. And I'm gonna be real with you. I be entertaining it too sometimes. I be entertaining it too because I don't know. Sometimes I just don't believe that I did what I said I was going to do. So I got to go check again or do it again. Sometimes it does happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it happened to a lot of other people too. And I'm going to give you some of the reasons why people may struggle with this. One of the reasons why people will struggle with this is because let's say they grew up in an abusive home or an abusive family, to whereas their family was telling them that, like, they would do something good and then their family would tell them like, oh, you ain't did it right. You ain't do that right. You know what I'm saying? So they do it again and then their family be like, nah, you ain't do it right. So they basically, let's say they grew up in an abusive home. It's like no matter what they do and how perfect they try to do it and how well they trying to do it, it's never enough for those abusive for those people who abuse them. So it's like they always got to keep doing it again and again and again. And then the demons, they sitting back just looking at the situation, you know. It's basically, think about it like this. The demons is using the abusers. The abusers is already demonized to abuse these people. And then the demons sit back and they be like, okay, they already feel like they not enough because their abuser is just going to tell them that whatever they do is not enough. So they just find an open door and now they start playing with your mind. That's all they do. They start playing with your mind because they found an open door. Where did they find the open door? They found the open door in the fact that you was getting abused and you do something well, and people is saying you ain't do it right. Your abusers are saying you ain't do it right. You don't get no credit for the good things you do. So you get into this mindset of doing stuff over and over and over and over. And before you know it, these demons in your mind is gonna be like, yeah, you ain't never gonna do it right, bruh. You ain't never gonna get it right. Nah, bruh, you ain't never gonna get it right. And then this is you talking. This is you talking. You'll be like, nah, I'm pretty sure I did it right this time. And then you hear the demons is like, nah, you ain't do it right for real. You ain't do it right for real. Then it's you back again. It's like going back and forth. They gonna try to drive you crazy because you trying to go back and forth with them. You know what I'm saying? When you try to go back and forth with them, they gonna try to drive you crazy is because demons, they don't really get tired. You know what I'm saying? So they could do this stuff all day, but you a human being, so you gonna get tired of it. So don't you see how when you try to go back and forth with them, um, you just gonna drive yourself crazy because you have a limited amount of energy. You ain't gonna be going back and forth with an evil spirit. These evil spirits don't even get tired. They just gonna keep going with this stuff all day. They gonna be like, you ain't do that right. You ain't do that right. You're not enough. This and that. You can't get nothing right. Think of how many parents be abusing their kids. They be like, you ain't enough. You'll never amount to this. You this and that. So now the kid gotta grow up thinking they not enough. Now they have this OCD demons that's attacking them based off of that open door that, you know what I'm saying, they received from getting abused. Because they felt they was already not enough anyway, you know what I'm saying? So that could be one of the reasons of how these open doors form and allow these demons to attack you. Another way is, you know, like, yeah, like that's the only way I could think of right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's other ways on how that could happen as well. But really, like, the thing is to not even go back and forth with these evil spirits, like, because they just gonna drive you crazy when you try to talk back and forth all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you almost gotta put them in their place and just check them, right? Sometimes you gotta just put them in their place and just check them, like just talk to them like out loud, but like make sure nobody's around. But you gotta talk to them and rebuke them, man, in the name of Jesus, like out loud. But make sure nobody's around, because when they hear you rebuking them, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you crazy. When you're really not crazy, you just spiritual and you understand like these are evil spirits, you know. You rebuke them, you put them in their place, you check them, you take a stand for yourself. And you also go on a fast so God could set you free from, you go on a fast so God could set you free from the OCD demons and spirits and all this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what, if you ever dealt with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, depending on how, really it depends on how severe. Like, if it's like really bad, you might have to go on a longer fast. But if it's just like, oh, you just checking here, you just checking like, oh, did you lock this door? Then you check like 5-7 times. And you know, like you may have it, but for some people it's like way worse, like way worse. So when it comes to people where it's way worse, they might have to do a longer fast so God can set them free from that. You know what I'm saying? It's out the way. But if it's just like not too strong, you might have to do you like maybe like a 3-day fast, you know, something like that. Do like a 3-day fast. And yeah, like you just do a fast and God will literally, you know, if you do the fast correctly, God will set you free from that. Like literally the power of God will set you free from that. So you don't have to keep doing all this stuff 5-7 times. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's what these demons want to do. It's like OCD is designed to drive you crazy. You know what I'm saying? And the systems of this world, man, they just trying to make you more sicker and more sicker. And just, come on, bro. You already know how the systems of this world go. But that's basically all I wanted to say, man. Peace.